Okay, welcome to my channel. Hi beauties, welcome back to my channel. Hi my beauties, welcome back to my channel. Hi my beauties, welcome back to my channel. Hey my beauties, welcome back to my channel. So today is a very special video because today marks the 5 years that I've been here on YouTube. I wanted to make this video to let you guys into my life, what it's been like these past 5 years for me, and just basically how it all started. For those that have known me for a while now, you guys know that this is a very hard video for me to do because of the fact that where YouTube started for me. So I will apologize in advance if I start crying and being very emotional, but this is real deep for me. So I really hope that this video is very inspiring to you guys. And yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get started with the video because I know it's gonna be a long one. So yeah, so if you guys can look at the date of this video that it has been uploaded, it is November 19. And in November 19 of 2012, I uploaded my first YouTube video. When I uploaded that video, I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think it would turn into what it is now. I didn't think that I would continue to make videos till this day. It's been so crazy and surreal to me, everything, how drastically my life has changed because of that video. And when I first uploaded that video, I was in Mexico. And the reason I was in Mexico is because I was going through immigration stuff and I was trying to fix my legal issues at that moment. And I don't even know how I uploaded that video. And it's so crazy to me because it's so hard for me to watch that first video because I was so excited, you guys. I was so excited to upload that video and have something to look forward into my life. I was so deeply depressed at that moment, and it's just been so hard to look back at that video because it brings so many emotions back to me. And even just talking about it, I have always came to believe that things happen in your life for a reason. God always has a plan for you, and sometimes you don't even know what it is, but I have come to believe that you just need to have faith in God because He's always working to make things great in your life. And we just have to be patient and wait to see what those things are. And I have a feeling that the reason why my YouTube channel started was because of the whole immigration thing. Because if I had never had gone through that, I don't think I would be here making videos. So my YouTube journey, you could say, starts the day I left the US when I was 18, and it was on a February 9th of 2010. And I actually have this journal right here where I wrote down the dates of the first year that I was out in Mexico, and I have the date here when I left, and I have every single date written down, the days that my husband would come and visit me. It's a whole year's worth of journal where I look at it and it brings so many emotions back. It's just crazy to look back at it right now. I hadn't looked at this in 5 years, to be honest. Had that plan for me to go through that, to be able to find this passion of mine and have this YouTube channel started. And sometimes, God works like that. We sometimes don't even see these things because they're disguised or whatever. And I don't think I would have started this channel if I would have never left to Mexico, because I was just so caught up with the whole life that I was living already at the time here in the US. And so when I went out to Mexico, my life just drastically changed. I remember the first year I was there, I was so terrified. I would cry so much, so many sleepless nights, so many nights of anxiety. It was really hard, honestly. And people don't sometimes realize how hard it is, especially as an 18-year-old, to go out when you're so used to your parents, you just graduated from high school, and to just be thrown out to the world and pretend like you're gonna be fine and you're gonna handle life perfectly fine. it's just so hard for sometimes to people understand that. When I went out to TJ, I moved into a house. I was with two ladies who took me in. My mom personally knew them, and I lived there with them for my first year in TJ, and I'm really grateful that they took me in and decided to open up their home to me. It wasn't easy still. Even though they were there, I still felt very lonely. I remember trying to hide from them, to cry, going into the bathroom, pretending like I was showering just so I could cry. But I'm very thankful for them because they were the ones that brought me a lot closer to God, to start believing in God. And they also made me meet other people that have really scarred my life for the better. And I don't know what I would have done if I didn't get close to God that year. One of the people that I met through those ladies was a girl named Priscilla. I love being with her. We would go to church together. We would hang out. I don't think she realizes how grateful I was that she just continued to live her normal life while she was friends with me, because it made me feel normal, if that makes sense. Like, it didn't make me feel like I was different. It didn't make me feel like I was just this sad girl going through something, you know. Like, she continued to treat me like as if my life was perfectly fine. I had nothing to worry about or cry about, and she would just come and like pick me up to try and go to the movies, or like to just hang out, go grab some food. She would invite me to her house so many times, and I would see her and she was just living her normal life. Like, she would go to work, tell me about her job and, you know, things with her boyfriend at the time, and if they were to get in a fight, she would tell me about it. If anything would happen with her parents, and if they would get like mad or anything, like, she would just tell me all these things, and I would just see her go through her life, and it just made me feel so normal, if that makes sense. And I will forever be grateful, because it would make me forget about the life that I had. She was literally like the only friend I had at that time, and she's just the person that I feel like is one of those that God sends to just like look out after you and make you feel better. So I'm always gonna be so grateful for her friendship. But that was one person I met that year that really meant a lot to me. Now, I know you guys ask yourselves, why didn't I just go with my mom's family or my dad's family if they lived out in Mexico, my grandma, you know? But I wanted to be in TJ because my husband still worked, and since we live in California, it would only take him 3 hours to drive down to visit me. So I wanted to be close to the border. That way he can be able to see me and I can see him whenever there was holidays and things like that. So that is the reason why I was living in TJ my first year. And I remember every single time he would come visit me, that he would bring me cakes that my brother Eddie would bake me. He knew that that's what would make me happy and feel like home. And my husband would try to bring me as many things as possible from here to just make me feel like I was more closer to home. And those are things that they just sound so stupid, but they mean so much. After a whole year of living in TJ, I was starting to move around from home to home. And then I was in my grandma's homes and my husband's side of his family. I was just hopping in and out of homes, because there's this saying that goes in Spanish saying que el muerto y el arrimado a los 3 días apestan. And it's so true, because as much as you try to make yourself look like you don't exist in their home, and you know, you try not to invade anybody's space or anything like that, but it's like you're still there. And people, as much as possible, as they want to help you and things like that, but it's like they want to get on with their life, you know? The only home that I was able to stay with no issues whatsoever was at my grandma's house. But unfortunately, Mexico is not the safest place. And on the media, you see things, but they're not always close to the truth of what it's like to live in Mexico. I'm not going to get into too much detail about that, because you just have to live in Mexico to understand. It was just not safe to be with my grandma all the time, and I would see her face of just frustration, of like how scared she was if anything was to happen to me, and I just didn't want her to be in that position. So I decided to move back to TJ, and this time by myself, because I was tired of going in and out of homes and making people feel uncomfortable after a while. And so at the time I used to think it was like the worst decision of my life, but that was when I started my YouTube channel. It was the hardest living there. Out of all the places I lived in Mexico, that was the most hardest one, because it was the most terrifying for me. I lived by myself in TJ, and just alone, those words, saying that alone, it can make you go crazy. I was there honestly for about like a year, I would say, by myself, and that whole year seemed like 1,000 years, to be honest. I would just stay in bed crying all day, and I remember calling my husband almost every other hour. Like, I just felt like I was going crazy, honestly. And at one point I did, you guys. When you're alone for such a long time and you have no one to talk to in person or anything, your mind just starts going crazy, honestly. I would find myself talking to myself so many times, and I just thought I was losing it, honestly. What was the worst part is that I would wake up calm and I would count the hours. And once it was starting to get dark, that's when my anxiety would just lose it, honestly. And there was no way of controlling it. I was just always so scared that anyone could come into my home and either kill me, rape me, just anything, honestly. And just to think that I was alone and nobody would ever know if something happened to me just really, really made me go crazy. I would always cry every single night because I didn't want it to be night. I didn't want to go through anxiety. Those attacks were just the worst. I don't know how I got through it. I don't know, and I just know it was God always giving me the strength. I would try somehow to find a routine for myself to do or look forward to my day, even though I had nothing. I wasn't able to work because I would just break down, you guys. Like, I was just like this super depressed person. I couldn't function well. Even though I was so depressed, I would try to find myself somewhere, some motivation. And I remember going back to my journal that I had wrote the first year, and I would find Bible verses and try to look them up, try to find a strength in me to keep going, to not give up and not hate my life or anything. And so it wasn't until I finally started finding out that there was girls making videos. I remember the first few girls that I remember watching was Dulce Candy, Carly Bybel, and Nicole Guerrero. But out of all three of them, they were amazing. I still love watching their videos and everything, but the one that really marked my life was Dulce Candy. And I don't think she realizes this, but she really changed my life so much, you guys. Like, so much. You guys have no idea. And the reason was because I related to her so much. Like, she was a person that I finally was looking up to and look forward to watching her videos and learning more about her. The fact that she said she was born in Mexico, came to the US as an immigrant, and was just doing so fine and well and just succeeding. Wow. Like, I saw her as an idol. Like, it's crazy to me to think that what I would watch from her at that moment is what I do now. And it's just so surreal to me and so crazy. And she taught me so much to be grateful and how to look forward to life. Like, she just like brought that spark into my life to look forward to something. And she made me want to start planning for my future. The day I come back to the US, what do I want to do? And I started writing it down, and I started writing more in my journal that I had left from some of the blank pages. I have so many things here that I just would always dream about doing. I remember writing this list because of her. And it says the things I miss the most about Santa Barbara. And I put number 1 was going to the movies with my brothers, my cousins, and Valentin. 2 was going to the mall and eating with Valentin at our favorite Mongolian place at the time. 3 was getting my hair and nails done. 4 was going downtown Santa Barbara, just being stupid and doing whatever we wanted to. Mostly in the car when we would just drive around. Having dinner with my family at random days of the week. Sunday league games, just even though I hated them, but I just wanted to be there with my dad. Casino almost every other week. The beach. Lunch with my mom when she used to work at UPS. Hanging out with my friend Nereida and Lily. And then the last one, it just says, sleeping in a house I could call my home sweet home. These were things that made me look forward to coming back. Having that little thing inside of me to look forward to, like she brought, like, I feel like that spark back in me. And I'm telling you, she meant so much to me at that time because I would talk about her so much to my mom, my husband, everyone. And it wasn't until my mom said, well, you're not doing anything, like why don't you film your own videos? And I was like, Mom, first of all, I don't have a camera. I don't have makeup. I don't have anything. I couldn't even afford makeup. You know, my mom has always just been so amazing and everything. You know, I just love her so much. And she was like, don't worry. I'm going to send you all the makeup that I have. And I'm going to send you my camera. And it was a little tiny red camera. And I just remember getting so excited because it was something I was gonna look forward to. I was like, oh my god, yes. And I remember I had my laptop at that time because that's where I would watch like Netflix, YouTube videos, like anything, because I couldn't afford cable at the time. So that's where I had my entertainment, on that laptop. And I remember before my husband brought me that camera, I was just so excited. I grabbed the laptop's camera and I just recorded my first video with it. So if you guys go back to my first 2 videos, those were recorded with my laptop. And I just remember being so excited to start this channel and just have something to look forward to in my day. Even though I knew like nobody was gonna watch my videos. I mean, the only people that were subscribed to my channel was just my family, which was my husband. I made a fake profile, my mom, and then my brother. Those were the only like people that were subscribed to me. I didn't care. I was just like, I'm so excited to do something, you know? Like I finally have something to do in my day. But I was just excited that I had started that channel, that I had already opened it and had something. If I wanted to do something for my day, that I could do that. And I remember though that my anxiety kept getting worse though. I remember telling my husband, I'm like, I don't know if I can continue living on my own. Even though I had something to look forward to during the day, at night it just kept getting worse. Like just any little sound, it would scare me so much and trigger my anxiety that it was getting to a point where it was already like not healthy at all. So what ended up happening was that I moved back to Mexico City with my grandma. From there, everything moved quickly because it wasn't even a year, honestly, that it took for me to finally fix my papers. So when I was out there in Mexico City, I remember getting a call from my husband saying I finally had a second appointment to go to Ciudad Juarez. When you get an appointment in Ciudad Juarez, that means it's to go and get a decision made if they can grant you your legal status to go back to the United States. And I remember being so nervous, you guys, because you need to go in there proving to them why is it that your husband or your spouse cannot live in Mexico with you, because it's either too dangerous or there's no education, the job is just not paying right. You just basically need to prove to them why is it that your spouse just cannot come and live with you in Mexico. And you guys, I just don't know how it happened, but I know this was all God and his purpose for everything. But when you go in there, you see people bringing in binders, and I'm talking about like big thick binders of reasons, of millions of reasons of why their spouses or kids or whoever it is that they have in their family cannot be living in Mexico with them. And you guys, mine, I'm not kidding, was as thick as this. Like, it was so tiny. Like, I had no reasons why my husband could not be living with me in Mexico. Like, he can just come live with me. Honestly, I remember just sitting there waiting for my number to be called to go up to the window and give him my binder. And I just remember praying to God, please, whoever it is that's going to take my documents, to just please go in their heart and make them change. To have a little sympathy and to please accept my apology. I remember my number got called and I went up to the window and it was a man. And the first thing I wanted to see was if he had kids, if he was married. And so I saw his hands and he had a wedding ring. And he started asking me all these millions of questions. Like, you basically get interrogated about everything. I remember at the end when he told me I got accepted. He just said, what are you gonna do when you go back to the US? And I told him, I'm gonna make my dreams come true. I remember telling him, like, I wanna finally be able to go to college. I wanna become a notary. I wanna work. I wanna buy a home. I just basically told him, like, really quickly everything that I wanted to do. And he just said, well, good luck. And I left and I was crying, you guys, like, so much. It finally felt like I could breathe, but at that moment I had already stopped doing YouTube videos. I took a big long pause from there. I remember I came back here on Mother's Day, May 10th, and I remember arriving at the airport and you know, you would think that you would be so happy to be back home, but I still didn't feel 100% happy. I was going through so much. I came without nothing. I felt like I had missed so much of my life, and just in general, honestly, I was so mad. Me and my husband were just going through a lot too, and we were just trying to figure out how to get going with our lives. Like, I remember I signed up for college, but I just realized, like, no, this isn't for me. Since we didn't have much, we were living at my parents' house. So if you guys remember, that's where I picked up my YouTube again. And if you guys noticed throughout the videos, I started out with nothing again. The only makeup I had was the one that my mom had already sent me when I was still in Mexico. If you take notice of my background, you notice that I started adding more and more to my background. I first started out with a blank tabletop from IKEA, like the ones that everybody has. Little by little, every month, because I had already gotten hired at a UPS job, and every single check I would spend it to invest into my YouTube channel, because despite of everything that was happening with my life, YouTube was a way to just escape my problems, to escape the fact that I had missed so many years of my life here in the US, and it was just a way to escape, and I just loved doing it. Every single payday, I would just invest it into my YouTube channel, and my husband was just so supportive of it. But it got to the point where, even though YouTube was just so new, but like, it wasn't going anywhere at the time. And I remember him saying, like, if you don't get to 50,000 subscribers by your YouTube anniversary, that's it. And I was like, no, I don't want this to end. I love this. And I remember working so hard trying to upload more videos, be consistent with it, and it just finally grew. It just grew out of the nowhere, and I couldn't be more excited because I reached that goal right before my YouTube anniversary, and I was just so excited. I was like, I get to keep it, right? And he was like, absolutely, you can keep it. I'll support you always. And it's been like that since day one. You know, eventually I started investing more into the YouTube channel because people think it's easy. People think it's just so easy to just come on camera, show makeup, but it's like, where's the makeup gonna come from? Like at first there was no PR packages, there was none of that, and it was nothing like it is now. And you know, you have to invest in a better camera quality, lighting. It was just so many things to invest in, so you can make the channel and the content so great for people to watch that I would just invest in it. But more than anything, it was on the products. Like if there was new launches, I would try to buy all of them so I could review them or use them in my videos. And it wasn't until like a year into YouTube, once I was already starting to be consistent, that I finally decided to go to a retreat. And my husband went first. I just saw like a huge change in him. I remember he came back, and I saw him as a different person. Like he had like this whole like thing taken off his chest, you know. And they had announced that they were gonna have one for women, and so I attended. And ever since, like my life changed from that day. Again, it changed my way of seeing things because, like I said, even though I came back and I was already here with my family and everything, I was so grateful for everything that I had. But with Anchor, when I went there, that's when I fully understood how God was working, and just basically everything started making more sense. So once I changed the way that I saw life, things and everything, I just started living a more positive life. That's when I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it my all. I want to grow this YouTube channel. I want to make it something, make it my career. And that's when YouTube started changing a little bit. Like companies started taking into consideration the fact that YouTubers could sell their products and things like that. So I remember I quit my job, and it was a very, very, very hard decision. But I was like, no, I want to do this full time. I want to give it my all. I don't want to keep doing it on the side. And I remember I quit a month before my wedding, and I just went for it. I started uploading every single day. I was like, if I am going to be dedicating my life to this, I want to give it my 110%. So I started uploading every single day. And that was the time that I also started my Spanish channel. So I was uploading 2 videos at the same time and vlogging on the weekends, because I also wanted to communicate with you guys a little bit more in an intimate way other than just beauty videos. And so I made it my full-time job with nothing in between. Like if there was events, I wouldn't really attend them. I was just so committed, and I wanted to grow my YouTube channel. And then eventually so many opportunities started coming up and everything like that. And then eventually it just started growing into what it is today. And everything that you guys have seen me go through, I'm just so grateful, because without you guys, I wouldn't have these opportunities. I wouldn't be where I am today, because if it wasn't for your support, I wouldn't be here right now. Today is 5 years since I sat down and filmed in front of a camera. And looking back, it's just so crazy to me, everything that I've gone through. Everyone's story is different, and everybody's story is so beautiful. I don't know where my story will end, wherever my story will continue. I hope that I am still here inspiring so many of you guys to continue to pursue your dreams. And to those that are going through any immigration issue, it might look like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, and that there's no solution or anything, or that you feel like you will never see your loved ones again. But you will. I am proof of that. And so many like other people, there's proof of that it can happen. And to those that are going through anything hard that you think that you might be going through, that you think that there's just no solution to it, there will always be a solution. Nothing is impossible with God. As long as you have God in your heart and you believe in Him 110%, you will be fine. I want to end this video by answering that one question that someone asked me 5 years ago, is where do you see yourself in 5 years? I want to see myself, first of all, become a mother. I want to see myself living in a huge ranch, because that's always been my dream. And I also want to see myself continuing to inspire others around the world, because this YouTube channel, that's what it is. I could care less about the number of subscribers, the likes, all of that, but what makes this channel so meaningful to me is the story behind it, and the way that I continue to touch people's lives. So many people have opened up to me, and it's just so beautiful, which is why it made me want to open up to you guys. I want to continue to hear your guys' stories, and I want to continue to meet those that have gone through the same thing as me, because everybody's story is different. This is just one story out of millions of other stories similar to mine. And when I tell you guys that you guys mean so much to me, I truly mean it. I know this whole beauty community has changed so much over the years, but I can tell you guys that I truly do care about my supporters, because you guys have drastically changed my life for the better. And yeah, that's where I see myself in 5 years. So think about where you guys want to be in 5 years. If you want to change your life, whatever situation that you're in right now, as dark as it seems, even if you were to go through the same thing as me that I went through, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. There's always God everywhere, and He is working His magic. And whatever your dreams are, keep dreaming and keep hustling until you make them a reality. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye.